All right, everybody. Welcome to Boroughs and Burbs, episode 82. And I'm your host, John Engel, hailing from Connecticut. And I'm getting some help this week from Stacy Melman. Wave, Stacy. She's from Beverly Hills. I thought, you know what? I am such a Connecticut Yankee, and I really don't know my California geography. I'm going to need some help from Victor, Curie, in Pasadena, Stacy in Beverly Hills. I'm going to need some help from some California natives to keep you two honest when I grill you on the really hard questions about Montecito and Santa Barbara. I'm very excited about Santa Barbara. The only things we know in New Canaan, Connecticut, is that a rich heiress who with a fabulous Fifth Avenue apartment, and who had a fabulous mansion in New Canaan, also had a fabulous mansion on the Santa Barbara coast with like 30-acre estate. And given the choice between New Canaan, Connecticut, and Santa Barbara, she chose to spend all her time in Santa Barbara. Can you imagine that? And never spent one night in her New Canaan mansion. And it was more recently sold and restored by the head of Tiffany's in New York. So I guess that makes everybody here in New Canaan mighty curious as to what's so special about Santa Barbara that you would not even spend a night in New Canaan all those years. So with that, hello. Adam, say hello.
Well, hello, Adam McKaig here, Douglas Elman, Montecito. And I've got my friend and vice president of Adam's Angels, Mary Hudson.
Right.
Excellent.
Well, you know what it is, John, is we always call this Hawaii on the mainland because it's so laid back. When I was growing up here, we used to call it for the newlywed and the nearly dead. But it's changed. A lot of celebrities have moved up. In spite of the 92 miles, they don't even think about it. When there's flying cars, they'll be here even faster.
So is it the jewel of California, or is Stacy sitting there in Beverly Hills, the more famous zip code? Is that the jewel of California? Help me out here, Stacy.
You know, I feel like Santa Barbara is special in the sense that it's smaller, and everyone who lives here sort of aspires to be there at some point or visit there, or, you know, have an extra home there. So it's sort of, I think that's a notch above Beverly Hills personally. That's my opinion. What do you guys think?
I think it's great because of the traffic. Because you want to take the kids to the zoo, it's only going to take you 7 minutes. Whereas if you do it at the LA Zoo, or you know, you try to go to the beach, it's a 45-minute drive, and that's getting more and more prevalent.
Right. I mean, working out of Beverly Hills is fantastic, being here for work, but I think vacation mode, going to the beaches, going to upscale restaurants. You know, I actually started college at UCSB because I always dreamed about being in California. And you guys
there
have,
you go.
Yeah, top 25th public colleges in the United States is UCSB. So I'm sure you guys
Right on the beach.
Yeah.
Mary is an alumni.
Right. I went to graduated in Berkeley, but I started at UCSB.
Oh, wow. Okay. So you got a view of the Channel Islands too from your
Oh,
dorm?
yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I was born and raised here in Montecito, so I've always been looking at the Channel Islands. It's almost like you take it for granted.
Oh, lucky you.
In fact, we're at the Montecito Club right now. We're hoping to be outside so you could have a view of the Clark estate, which you were mentioning, and which she so graciously donated to the city. So it's a Santa Barbara jewel. I actually had tried to make offers since she was not coming here. I offered the estate in Chicago $75 million. They rejected it, and then we went up to 100. And it's not for sale. And apparently, rumor has it there are offers up to $200 million for this property, and still they chose to donate it to the city of Santa Barbara.
Well, it's the coastline because it's right on the beach.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that's very unusual, but she actually didn't live here, did she, for a
No.
long time?
No, and they,
She was in a hospital in New York City, so everybody could take care of her.
yeah, and they set the table as if she was going to come every night. So the rumor has it, but she hadn't seen it for over half a century.
So I think I'm going to try and orient everybody. Sorry for the folks in podcast land, but can you see the screen? Can you see the map, or do you see the Huguette Clark estate?
Yeah, we see it right there.
Yep, we see it.
So that's the Huguette Clark estate, which is right up against the ocean, has a few cliffs, and the Pacific Coast Highway actually wraps around the estate, inland of the estate, which is pretty extraordinary. But let's get oriented. Can you all see the map here?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I see Los Angeles down there, and then I go through Thousand Oaks and Ventura, and then I finally get to Santa Barbara, 90 miles outside of Los Angeles. So it's not really a commutable distance to LA. And so any of the famous people who are required to be in LA at the studios every day, they're not commuting from Santa Barbara, are they?
Well, true, but they probably don't go every day. I know my daughter has a driver, so she just goes to sleep in the back seat. But
Oh, for those of you who don't know, her daughter is Katy Perry.
yeah. So that I'm sorry.
So how long does it take Katie or Tom Cruise to get to work in the morning?
90 minutes?
Well, Tom Cruise can ride a motorcycle or a jet or a rocket ship.
But he's in Malibu, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's in Malibu.
Okay.
But yeah, 90 minutes, you could be anywhere in LA.
But it's the most beautiful drive in between Ventura and Santa Barbara, right along the coastline, right next to the water. It's probably one of the prettiest drives
Oh, it is.
on the coast, except if you go Highway 1 up to Big Sur, between the Hearst Castle and Monterey, but that's very desolate.
So it's 90 minutes without traffic when Katy Perry goes to work in the morning. But for the rest of us, what's the commute?
Well, we can be safe going to LAX. They always make me do 2 hours. But
Got it.
that's LAX, which is sort of south of the city of Los Angeles. So it depends upon where you're going. But if you time it right, if you go early in the morning or you go late at night, it's an easy 90 minutes.
So talk to me about why would somebody go out there instead of Malibu, Beverly Hills, or any of the other premium spots? I mean, help me understand the difference.
Traffic. And besides that, the slow pace, the easy pace, and nobody's hassling you. I mean, the thing is that Santa Barbara, unfortunately, has always been, Montecito, particularly a snobby kind of place. I remember when Susie Parker and Brad Dillman first moved up here in the 60s, and they would not allow them to join the Valley Club because they were actors. But that's all changed now. The actors are all in there.
And
So
I
I'm
feel
gonna-
like, sorry,
Go-
John.
No, go ahead.
Do you feel like Santa Barbara is heavily tourist or it's more locals?
It can be. It depends upon the time. Like we have the summer solstice parade coming on June 24th, and usually they have 100,000 people come up here. So, or the Fiesta Parade, we all try to go out of town during those times.
I do
Right.
know you
You've got a
guys
lot of
have
tourists.
you have the International Film Festival there as well, correct?
Oh, yes, not to mention
Yes.
that.
And cruise ships come. Well, but Santa Barbara's been a destination for hundreds of years. It's been a place to come out in winter and get healthy. It has
Yeah,
been a
hot
retreat.
springs,
The
hot
hot springs,
springs.
yeah.
Mhm.
All right, I'm going to pull up a map again because I love meandering around the map. So when I did a quick look at property values in the Santa Barbara area, and I guess Santa Barbara is short for the whole area, but it's also the town in the center. The
Right.
most expensive real estate is Montecito. And I
Right.
guess and that was at the $5 million level, according to the Zillow index. And it was half of that in Greater Santa Barbara and Summerlin. And let's see if I could pull up the, but so can you tell me what is so special about Montecito in particular?
Well, John, you're just going to have to come out here and see it because it's gorgeous with all the old estates and the properties that have been built up around here. What do you think?
Oh
Adam?
my gosh. Well, you know, the weather is so nice. Santa Barbara is only 42 square miles. It's small. It's protected by the San Ynez mountain range behind us. We have the beach in front of us. No matter where you live, you could be at either of them within 10 minutes, the mountains or the beach. Our beaches, we have world-class surfing. We have fishing, hiking is the best. We have our Channel Islands out in our harbor that protect our coastline from, tidal wave. Although in 1901, there was a tidal wave from an earthquake between our coast and the islands, but it was only like a foot tall. But it's a very, very wonderable place.
Protected area.
Yeah. Yeah.
So is Montecito bigger estates? Because it looks like that I'm going to get more land, maybe an acre in Montecito, whereas downtown Santa Barbara and some of the Oak Park, Alta Mesa, they look like much smaller lots. Is that accurate?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, those are
Okay.
tract neighborhoods. Now, Santa Barbara has older tract neighborhoods and smaller parcels of land. Montecito has always generally been larger estates.
I think originally it was settled, one of the great places to go, Montecito, is the San Isidro Ranch, where I think Father Junipero Serra started. I mean, he started up there.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then they started farming around there, and then people came from the East Coast. I know my mother and her family came from Pittsburgh, and they went to Pasadena. Then my great aunt bought property. There's just a lot of property available at that time, but now it's going to be, your inventory. Is there any inventory?
Oh, no, the inventory is so low. And some of the high-end properties are being sold between celebrities like Ellen DeGeneres will buy a beautiful property. She'll fix up an already beautiful property and sell it for double to one of her friends.
He's the chief flipper around here.
Oh my goodness. Rob Lowe has been doing well in real estate. He sold one of his properties to Adam Levine, who for 52 million, who, by the way, Mary, is going to be singing for our event September 22nd at Kevin Costner's place. It's a fundraiser for 1805 and Adam's Angels. So that's pretty exciting. But anyway, the real estate in Montecito is realizing some large numbers.
But we don't have Adam, probably a year and a half ago, it was like there were 30 people lined up at every property, but it's not like that right now?
No, it's slowed down. The prices haven't necessarily gone down at all. But I know this is one of your questions regarding the floods and the fires.
Right.
And one of the deterrents in Montecito are insurance costs.
Oh, right.
I had a property last year. Insurance premiums were over 200,000 a year.
Oh my gosh.
And that deterred even some of the big rich celebrities.
Well, I know that this time we've had all this atmospheric river rain, and it's like we're wondering when it's going to stop. But they have put Swiss avalanche nets up in the mountains, so the big boulders the size of Volkswagens cannot any longer come down. So we didn't have any of that problem with all this rain since December, which is quite remarkable, right?
Yeah, it worked out well.
I love that when you
Well.
can say the best thing about this season was nobody got hit by a Volkswagen size rock. I mean, in Connecticut, that's not even part of our marketing strategy. Nobody got hit by a rock.
Yeah, right. Well, was it 5 years ago or 7 years ago?
Five.
We had the floods here and 23 people died.
Yeah.
The Volkswagen rocks came down, but they were not prepared for this, but now they are.
I did do some research before, even though I know Santa Barbara not as well as you guys do. And it said that there's 283 sunny days per year in Santa Barbara.
Yes.
Yeah.
That would be correct.
Yeah, well, that was last year. This year, and normally we get 15 inches of rain. This year we've had over 60. That's a lot
That's
of water.
amazing. That's
Yeah.
awesome. But the hills are green. I mean,
Oh,
it looks
boy.
gorgeous, so verdant. And the palm trees are just flourishing. It just looks like between tropical and Yosemite.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right, so I've got a builder in the house, Scott Hobbs. He builds big fancy houses for celebrities. And so I got to ask, and maybe Scott will help me out with this, but when they come and they say, I want something new, I want privacy, I want a pool, I want a tennis court, and I want new construction. Is there any left? Is there any room for a guy like Scott Hobbs in Santa Barbara?
Well, I think it's who you know. I mean, you just have to get it in here and hobnob and talk to people, because I think there is land.
Yeah.
But it's going to be the permitting process is not short.
No, zoning is very difficult here, depending on where it is. We have several layers of government entities, from the county, Montecito proper, if it's in Montecito, the Coastal Commission. So those are difficult. There are well restrictions, there's water moratoriums, there's regulations on everything. What people are doing though, they're buying houses and then raising them. They're leveling them and then building new. So,
Right.
'cause-
That seems to be the, if Scott wants to do that, then hey, come on in, get your bulldozer.
Well, how does that work with the taxes though? Because you guys still have sort of like the homesteader that, or I forget which proposition it is, that the taxes
Right.
don't go up till you change hands. Does that radically change your tax situation?
Well, yeah, and then after you build, they'll reassess it. They go, oh, wow, that looks like a $1 billion place. In 1 point, whatever percent will be your new tax assessment.
And what always curious as to like how the actual ecosystem works. So you have all these wonderful, lovely, great places, which we talk about week to week in many different areas. And then comes the question is like, okay, so where do the workers come from? So
Yeah.
We've got lots of workers. We do have a lot of workers, a lot of people around, right?
Yeah, but again, generally for larger projects, I've had contractors, get people out of Texas and then put them up for a job. But we've got the workers that live in surrounding communities like Lompoc, Santa Maria, Ventura, and Ojai.
Everybody
and,
commutes from Ventura
yeah.
or Lompoc.
Yeah, because rental is much more affordable in those cities as opposed to Santa Barbara.
Can we talk more about that? I want to dig down a little deeper on that. Scott Hobbs builds houses, big houses in the Hamptons, and they have the same problem. And when I said to him, why don't you just put workers up on the properties in the temporary homes, he said, zoning doesn't allow it. Absolutely not in the Hamptons. So are you saying that they can come from Ojai? Ojai is no slouch. I mean, Ojai, the average
No.
house is $2 million.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Ojai, yeah.
Well, there are little suburbs of Ojai, like Oakview and Casitas Springs, where we sold Johnny Cash's house, which the rentals are much more affordable. But I'm saying, yeah, they drive in for work because it's only half hour, 45 minutes.
I forgot you sold Johnny Cash's house. I'm going to try and find a picture of that. Tell us about Johnny Cash's house. Is that the regular person's house? And what does a regular person's house cost these days in Ojai?
Well, it wasn't very expensive.
No,
to sell, was
it wasn't very expensive in the scheme of things, but it was in an area, well, Casitas Springs, which had little tiny houses and mobile homes, and Johnny liked that because it was real America, and there was a bar that he used to like to go to and a church that he'd sing, but he bought a piece of land above that little town, and he laid down on the ground envisioning what it's going to be like. He laid it all out and built a much larger house than the surrounding neighborhood. And what did we get? About $2 million.
Is
We
this the
had-
house here that I see with the red roof?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
And what was the song that he wrote there?
Oh, Ring of Fire. Well, June Carter got the credit for that, but rumor has it from the Cash family that he actually wrote it and gave it to her. And he did that while fishing on Casitas Lake. But while he was living there, this was in the height of his drug and alcohol addiction, so it wasn't a happy time in his life. But he met June Carter during that time, or had the relationship, and well, the rest is history. But the people that looked at it were amazing. You know, a lot of celebrities, actors who wanted to either make it a recording studio or a bed and breakfast, bring it back to the original glory, and renting it out as a Johnny Cash experience. But we ended up selling it to a Johnny Cash fan who actually his son was named Cash. So it was almost inevitable that he would end up with Johnny Cash's home.
And how much did that house, which looks like a ranch, a regular 1950s 3-bedroom ranch, how much did that sell for?
$2 million, and it was fraught with lots of problems, but again, it was the Johnny Cash aspect that Douglas Elliman promoted, and that went viral, as you might remember, bringing the price up actually close to $1 million more than the sellers were expecting. So
Was it?
And I think a lot of celebrities and people are coming up here to be creative because it's so much slower. I know Katie just bought one of the 5 remaining Adobes in Santa Barbara,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And she's not going to use that for a house at all. It's going to be a studio. So, you know, she'll probably rent it out and all that, but I'm sure other people are looking that direction.
yeah.
Is it just the celebrities buying up there, or is it the tech crowd? And is that also
No, the
helping
tech
to drive
crowd,
up prices?
Oh yeah,
Eric,
no.
what's his name? Eric, what's his name?
Schmidt.
Out the state?
Oh yeah, and Lynda.com,
Yeah, Linda,
they're
she bought
building-
another one.
they're building one that they're gonna have, I don't know, maybe 150, $200 million into it. And it's gonna house their art, basically.
Oh,
And-
yeah.
And it's
yeah.
just literally half a mile behind us.
Right. I go up my road and I see the security out there in the street. But who is it? Eric from Google that?
Oh, right.
For his
Eric
wife?
Schmidt.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Right.
And then the dating site, and we've got Amazon, LinkedIn,
Jeff Bezos?
well, Bezos bought Ojai
Oh, he did.
next to it.
He was trying to buy, what's her name's estate?
Which one?
That John was talking about. The
Who, Greg
38
Clark?
Yes,
Oh,
Greg
yeah.
Clark,
Oh, okay,
yes.
yeah.
But he
Yeah.
didn't get by the city. The city's a tough
Oh,
nut to
yeah,
crack.
yeah.
So what's in Ojai? Why would he go to Ojai if you've got all the money in the world? Why wouldn't you hang out in Montecito with a view of the ocean?
Well,
to say.
there was this beautiful ranch that was so remote. Ojai again is what, half an hour from the ocean, but you feel miles and worlds away. And he bought a big ranch for I believe $88 million. It was not for sale. That $88 million made it for sale.
So I'm
Right.
showing a map that shows just how far Ojai is. Ojai, Oakview, Miramont. So one thing we've learned is Ojai is for regular people, and a lot of the labor comes from the Ojai area. And
Well, there's a lot of creatives in Ohio. A
Yeah.
lot of people come up from LA and actors.
The
you know.
Ojai Valley Inn and Spa is one of my favorites, actually. But
Thank you.
it's right. A lot of people go there, I feel like.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
it's a nice
then-
tranquil getaway.
I was curious, like what the situation is with paparazzi, because there's so many celebrities, obviously in LA, but a lot of them go to Santa Barbara to escape by estates if they can. You know, everyone that you know that has houses and homes there. What's it like with paparazzi? Are there a lot more there now that the
Not
royal?
bad. It's not as bad as you might think. I mean, it used to be when Katie was first acquiring property here, and you know, we'd see the Daily Mail at our door. But not so much anymore. And I'm not sure. What do you think, Adam?
Well, you know, the celebrities that I know feel a lot more comfortable and at ease here. They can be themselves.
Yeah, nobody pays any attention to them.
No,
We don't care.
no, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, so that's probably another reason they come up here. They can be themselves, go to the farmer's market and whatever.
So how big is Santa Barbara actually? I know it's not that big. So in terms of homes that you're selling or, you know, available places to even rent, what's the size? What is the size of Santa Barbara? And there's a bunch of different areas with it.
Geologically, it's 42 square miles. But as far as inventory, there is so little on the market right now.
How many single family homes now would you say?
Available?
Yeah.
80.
And what's normal pre-COVID?
300. Yeah.
People came from the north, south, east, and west, Seattle, Los Angeles, San Francisco.
Right.
During COVID, it was crazy.
Well, COVID actually kicked it up a notch. COVID, when it hit, our jobs were deemed non-essential and we were shut down completely. Real estate stopped, escrows fell out, lenders were not loaning, and hence we started Adam's Angels. And we thought that we'd be doing this for a couple of weeks, but it lasted a lot longer. But real estate kicked in high gear because people rethought and reassessed their lives and what was important to them, and quality of life. Yeah, quality of life. And people came from New York, big cities to Santa Barbara.
So I just have one more question. I would love to hear more about Adam's Angels.
Oh, well, it started again when we were deemed non-essential. Peter Hernandez said, "Oh, we're not allowed to show properties. We're not allowed to work. Just halt for a little while," in the fear of getting contracting or giving COVID. What would the legality be? So I posted on Facebook because, as realtors, we are serving our clients and I like to serve. So I didn't want to be without a job of serving. I posted on Facebook if I could be of help getting groceries, which were really hard to get for those at risk, those elderly, and medication, I'd be happy to. And the outpouring was huge. It drew people from all walks of life, both to help and to be served, and we were born from that.
Yeah, but after that, now you serve 7 or 8 sites all over Santa Barbara on the homeless, right?
Yeah.
That's
We
amazing.
we put together non-perishable bags of food on Monday nights, and we distribute it to 8 locations from Isla Vista to Carpinteria. And to date, we've done over 40,000 of those. We give out clothes, we give out hygiene.
And rain ponchos.
Oh boy, thousands of sleeping bags. We've given away 2 cars, vans that were equipped for living in, along with the insurance and a safe parking program. We have another car coming in that we're going to be giving out next month for that same reason. But it's been a real honor serving our less fortunate.
So we're in one of the most wealthy communities in the country, Montecito, with an average price of $5 million. So a lot of people are probably wondering, well, who's needy? How could you possibly have a needy population?
Oh.
Well, you do in Santa Barbara, Goleta, and Carpinteria for sure. And the thing is that Santa Barbara's always been known for nonprofits. I know my mother was involved in that, but they have 3,500 nonprofits
Wow.
in Santa Barbara. I think it's one of the largest per capita for sure of nonprofits.
Yeah, and we didn't become a nonprofit until just a little over a year ago. It was self-funded. I funded it personally myself originally, and then some kind-hearted Santa
Right.
Barbara community clients and friends also pitched in, and we formed this nonprofit, and it's just going gangbusters. We do this in conjunction with Showers of Blessings, which give hot showers, Doctors Without Walls, which go out to the parks with us, to areas with their team of doctors, trying to do preventative medicine, because the homeless have been using the emergency rooms as their primary care, and it was clogging up the system for those of us that need it also. So they're going out to them. We also have Care for Paws, which takes care of our little four-legged friends, and takes care of them both with food and medical.
So I have to
Pretty-
dig in on what seems to be, I'm trying to draw some conclusions here. If I was being transferred out to California and I was looking for a place to bring my family, and I was trying to evaluate what communities might I look in, partly I'm hearing that this is a place full of celebrities, right? And they have fabulous water views, and they have their need for privacy, and there's great estates. I'm also hearing about from a third generation and a sixth generation Santa Barbaran about an incredible volunteer community and
Yes.
a great place to raise a family.
Yes.
So I'm trying to understand which way it is, and maybe it can be both. Maybe it can be both full of celebrities and yet a community that comes together, volunteers, where everybody is pretty relaxed and knows each other. Is
Yes,
that all
that's true.
true?
And especially, I think a lot of teamwork came after the mudslide 5 years ago, because they formed something called the Bucket Brigade. And these people went and cleaned out the creeks, and they looked for, people's lost wedding rings that they found and things like that. They're still together, and they're still very unified.
So the apparent contradiction is Ellen DeGeneres cleaning up the creek? Or are you a close-knit community that regards all of this invasion of celebrities as a bit of a distraction? I mean, I'd like to sit in on one of your P&Z meetings and see if there's a little bit of a us and them attitude, or are they is us?
Well, it's more they as us, kind of. They have to, because we don't see them. I mean, they're just people that have jobs like you and I.
Yeah. And just regular people, you wouldn't, actually, I don't recognize them. Mostly someone has to tell me who they are.
Right.
In fact, I had a client who was the funniest client ever, and oh my gosh, every time I was with her, she was just cracking jokes, and I told her, you know what, you're so funny, you ought to be a comedian. Well, Amy Schumer says, well, I am. I didn't know. Oh boy. Yeah, no, it's funny. But we have Billy Baldwin and China Phillips, serving at the park, putting together bags of non-perishable food right alongside us, and we're just regular people. But we're making Montecito out to be this hub of celebrities, which a lot of it is. But we've got Goleta, which is just family. It's more techie, and that's 5 minutes, 10 minutes away. We got Santa Barbara.
Centers come down from San Jose there, right?
Yeah, that's
Who are
big.
some of those tech businesses? Do you remember?
We've got, I think I've got a list. Oh, we've got Zoom, which we're on. We got Apple, Microsoft, Procore. We have, I forget, they make night vision goggles and laser
But that's right out there next to the
and
university,
military.
right near
applications.
UCSB.
See that,
Yeah.
Stacy? Now he's just showing off. He's like, yeah, we got celebrities, but we also have laser.
Right, no,
laser
sorry,
technology.
sorry.
At the other end of town, John.
Guys, don't forget about one of the biggest parts, I feel like, of Santa Barbara is you guys have a huge group of college students, right?
Yes.
So you have, I remember Isla Vista was like this like huge like place for everyone to hang out on Halloween, right? And then Goleta is right there. So, and State Street, all these places
Yeah.
you have, there's a lot of students there, right?
There
Yeah,
are
Santa Barbara
a lot.
City College, there's Westmont College, then UCSB,
Mhm, mhm.
and some smaller. little
But
things.
your Halloween parties that were so famous, is supposed to be the most popular Halloween party of any college school. It's no longer. So
Oh.
you can go out to Del Playa in Isla Vista on Halloween and not see many kids at all.
Oh no, what
Yeah.
happened?
Well, they blocked it off. You know, kids would get drunk and fall off the cliff and get hurt and
Yeah.
and fights and
Uh,
yeah, it just got too big.
Got
Got
it.
too-
So let's talk more about real estate. So let's review 40 square miles. And there used to be 300 houses on the market, and now there's 80. I live in a town half that size physically, 20 square miles, 20,000 houses. 20,000 people in 20 square miles and 7,000 houses. And we also used to have 300 houses on the market and now have between 60 and 80 on the market.
Oh, interesting.
hmm.
So we're twice in Connecticut is twice as dense, but has the same size market as you do and the same decrease in inventory that you do.
That's interesting.
We're not experiencing the same lift in prices. The average house in New Canaan or Darien is $2 million, and in neighboring Greenwich is maybe $3 million. You're talking about 5 million only in Montecito and 2.5 million, I think, throughout the entire greater Santa Barbara area. Is that right?
Yeah, it sounds about right. But again, there are little pockets that you can get more value. Entry level in Goleta is about $1 million.
Oh,
So-
see, this is where we all lean in and you whisper, where are the deals? Where's the
$1
value?"
million. Now the houses in Goleta,
And you
for the
said that
most-
was a tech hub. So if I can fix my own computer, I might start in Goleta.
absolutely, yeah. But again, Goleta, Montecito, Carpinteria, the mountains, the ocean, they're all 5-10 minutes away. So, you know, you could live and work wherever, but more affordable is Goleta, and it offers a lot as well.
Why is it more affordable? Is it up in the mountains? Do I have to actually?
No, it was all farmland. They're all little ranch homes built in the 50s and 60s. They used to be avocado and lemon orchards, and you know, the builders were like locusts. They went out and built thousands and thousands and thousands of these homes, and they sold for you know, starting price around $20,000. Anybody could afford it then. You didn't have to have a full-time job.
No, talk to me about now. Scott Hobbs is leaning in. He is that
Yeah.
locust. So
Yeah.
how much for Scott to buy one of those 1950s ranches now? And is P&Z gonna let him build
Yeah.
something big?
A lot
in
easier
Goleta?
out in Goleta than
Oh, yeah.
Santa Barbara.
Yeah,
It's a whole
yeah.
different city council.
But you're somewhat more, well, you're more affected in future value by your neighbors. Whereas Santa Barbara, you're not. I mean, you could have a $2 million house sitting next to a $6 million house. In Goleta, it's a little more cookie cutter, but
Well, Adam, though, what about north of Goleta on the way to Gaviota? I mean, those ranches,
Oh,
those
yeah.
places up there like the Reagan Ranch and all the winding. I mean, if Scott wanted to develop someplace, he should go up there and investigate some of those huge ranch lands.
sure.
Because it's going to be the whole city will move in that direction. It's right along the coast with the mountains in the back. It's gorgeous,
So it is.
but it's undeveloped.
I've got a 1,400 acre coming up next to Reagan's Ranch. 7 lots, although it is in a Williamson Act, so it's limited as to what you could do, and it is so remote that the clients, I bought and sold this property with my client 4 times. Every owner has had a helicopter because they use it as their little Shangri-La and getaway. But
Stacy, have you learned anything about Adam besides like I'm putting it together? All of this, he sells a house 4 times, and every time they arrive by helicopter.
well,
I want to be Adam when I grow up.
so it was just one property. That one anomaly is the gift that keeps giving. We sell it. It's an emotional buy. Someone buys it, and then they go, wow, I don't need this. I'm not using it. This is so far away. I do have to get to it by helicopter. It was fun. So then my client buys it back, and then we sell it again. And
That's wild. And where are all these wineries? I know there was a bunch of famous wineries from the movie Sideways, right? So people probably try to like be there for the wineries. Maybe, I don't know if it's ideal to live near them or what cities are kind of close to them, or do people have their own?
They go wine tasting over the mountain. It's 45 minutes over to Santa Ynez, Solvang, and Los Olivos, where Michael Jackson had his ranch. And all the wineries are there, right?
yeah, and all the
Wine
celebrities are getting winery. Pink opened up her winery. Fess Parker's winery is very, very
Well known.
well known. We have Fergie. I don't know who else. There's probably a bunch of others, but I don't drink, but I heard the wine's good.
I just want an avocado tree. That's all I want. Just one.
Oh, well, there's lots of avocado trees in Montecito, Summerlin, Carpinteria.
Yeah, I've got 18 at my house in Montecito. So if you want avocados, I'll bring them to the Beverly Hills meeting.
Oh, I love it. And you know what? You guys have one of the best restaurants. My son, who's 12, makes me drive to Santa Barbara just for this restaurant. And I'm forgetting the name. It's an Italian restaurant.
Dario?
No.
Trey Loon?
Trey Loon.
Trey Loon.
Yes.
Masanos of Lucky Brand Jeans. That's his restaurant.
Oh, it is. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even more celebrities. They own the restaurants there too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's got another restaurant up the street, Lucky's.
Yeah. Lucky's restaurant. That's good.
And
They
they
Trey
just-
Lynn has all the celebrities are on the walls that have been there. And what's her name? Comes to eat there all the time. Katie just did her birthday party on her 90th birthday. The comedian.
Oh, Carol Burnett?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. She has lunch there all the time.
oh, wow.
And Lucky's, we opened up a restaurant in Malibu at the Malibu Country Mart, but I remember it's been in Santa Barbara forever.
Right, and they just did the one at the Malibu Country Mart, yeah.
Yeah, it's a great, I love it there.
Yeah.
All right, so my daughter is 26 and she just got into the union. She's a assistant editor down there in Hollywood. So is she going to go, is Santa Barbara is not a choice for her, right? It's too far away for a 20-something-year-old. And would a 20-something-year-old feel comfortable there anyway? It seems like a place for a big boy, after you've made your money and you don't have to commute in every day, then maybe you have the luxury.
Well,
of
that's
moving 90
true,
miles
but the
out.
26-year-olds need to get up there and help the estate managers and the assistants to all these celebrities. They need young, strong, flexible brains.
Yeah. But if she wants to get in the business, she probably should be in LA, but there are other ways to get into business than being here and meeting the right people. Is
Right,
who
that's what
you
it's
know.
all about, a lot easier.
Yeah.
So that's what 20-year-olds do. They work locally. They don't go into LA.
No.
Okay.
It would be like, I feel like maybe comparison to a 21-year-old or 20-year-old going into the Hamptons, right? Wouldn't really be that age unless you're going to college or you work there on the daily. I feel like she'd be better off going to Beverly Hills or just hang out in Hollywood Los Angeles where all the entertainment is based here. And that's like, like Katie, your daughter, once you make it, and then you can go and buy, an estate in Santa Barbara.
Or-
ranch.
And be driven in. So really, you got to do it at that point where you can be driven back and forth.
Right, thank you, John, exactly. Yeah.
I say that in all sincerity. I have a client, he's 90 and he's got a Fifth Avenue apartment. He's got a couple of houses here in New Canaan. And he told me he's got a couple of lots in East Hampton. And I said, where? And one of them is on the water and one of them's like across the street. And I said, what happened? And he said, well, I bought them in the 70s. And then I discovered it's 90 miles, just like Santa Barbara. It's 90 miles from Manhattan and it's too hard to get to.
Wow.
And so it's been sitting there undeveloped since 1970, because it was just too hard to get to. And it sounds like it's not too hard to get to Santa Barbara, that you don't have some of the traffic problems that maybe they have in the Hamptons.
Right, but there's an opportunity for Scott.
Yeah, come on, Scott. But, and a lot of the beach houses like you're talking about, there's very little bit of land on the beach available, but the beach houses are not primary residence. They are second, third, and fourth homes. So if you're on a boat in the ocean going along the coast at night, you're only going to be seeing a few lights on. They're basically empty.
How
Well,
much for a
Yeah.
little bungalow on the beach?
$3 million.
Oh yeah, easy.
How much?
Easy.
40?
Yeah, somewhere 40, 50, 60. There's another one quietly being marketed at 110.
I think Jared Kushner's brother bought one.
Yeah, they're all buying them quietly, and it's a very desirable place to own.
For now, Point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Wait, you
And
cut
it
out, you
wasn't
said
always that way.
for a shack on the beach is now a $50 million kind of thing.
You can get them for 15, a little small.
Okay,
Tiny.
now we're talking. Scott,
Tiny.
you want to go in
Yeah.
on one?
It
Right.
just depends. I mean, there's little pockets where you can get one, and there's ones that are not so expensive, but
Yeah,
so funny because down on Padero Lane where Star Wars, what's his name?
Lucas,
George Lucas has one. Is that Kevin Costner's down there?
Kevin Costner.
And who else?
He actually lives in a modest little one, but Kevin has a 10-acre property with a house on it. And again, where we're doing our fundraiser,
Yeah,
and that's just land. Someone could buy that and develop that into a spectacular site.
another opportunity.
Yeah.
But,
So
uh,
let's say I
guys-
have, so
Go ahead.
if I show up with $5 million and buy a house, what's the total cost? What kind of taxes am I going to pay?
About 1% of the purchase price, roughly. Yeah.
Is that what the average, is that what you're paying multi-generational people who've owned it for many, many, many years?
No, they could move their tax base. I mean, some of these people are paying on $15,000 purchase price.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But
What do you guys think of, sorry, what do you guys think of, curious, of Santa Barbara versus Malibu on the waterfront? I actually live in Malibu, but I'm based in Beverly Hills at the office. I'm here actually right now. But what is, you would know what the comparison is for oceanfront, probably.
well, I mean, Malibu has more oceanfront property than Santa Barbara, and you guys are realizing some really big numbers, really big numbers. And Santa Barbara is a place that people go to get away. Malibu is a place people go to be, because they work in the city and such. But so it's much busier. And again, going back to the vacant beach houses, people just use this as a little weekend or once a month getaway.
But they do own them. They're not renting them out for. Okay.
No, well, some people do the rentals, and it's 150,000 or 100,000 a month for some of these properties. Yeah.
So what do you do for fun? I know that Peter Hernandez is a surfer. Is everybody a surfer? I know you've got a beach boy, Brian Wilson, who lives in Santa Barbara. So
Yeah, and Mike Love.
yeah. So
I think Mike left, and they had the Love Estate, little hippie compound back in the day on the Mesa. But I personally surfed a lot. But although with Adams Angels and real estate, I haven't been able to get in the water. In fact, Peter and I are supposed to be getting together to surf, so we'll see if that happens.
But you hike
yeah.
all the time.
Now, I can't hike like I used to because I'd go off in the daytime, and so now after bagging on Mondays, we go off and do a hike. We walk off, watch the sunset, and we come back with headlamps on, and it's a whole new hike.
and you hike the mountains?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mountains or the beach, or Mary's coming. You're coming soon.
Yeah, but I do pickleball. Pickleball is a big thing here.
Oh, that's scary.
Yeah,
Oh,
we love pickleball. We got Adam doing pickleball on my birthday, but that was last time we saw him.
yeah, it's her and Katie, and I was sore after pickleball. And Mary's a fierce competitor on the court.
Do you have to
Katie's-
carry any protection when you go on your night hikes from some of the wild animals, or?
No.
We don't see many mountain lions around here.
No.
They are a few,
Mhm.
but people are on it.
Yeah. You know, I have a tenant that lives above my garage in Montecito, and we have a avocado orchard, and he has a game cam. And I thought, oh, this is nice. I'd like to see what he has. And we get bobcats coming up, some deer. We had a bear on there, but we also had a big mountain lion, hundreds of pounds. I don't know, it's huge. And they don't seem to hurt any animals. They do go after the large game like deer. So
Yeah, we don't see many deer around here though.
no, they're all in mountain lions' bellies.
Yeah, true.
Here in LA, we definitely do not have any hikers at night because there's tons of mountain lions. I've seen now 2.
Wow.
So it's definitely more
You
of a,
Wow.
yeah.
Wow.
I'm up a canyon, so literally Santa Monica Mountains, and they're everywhere. They've been like, I don't know what happened in the pandemic. All of a sudden they're out and about all over the place.
Hungry.
Okay, Stacy, this show is gonna live on the internet forever, and
Oh.
we're gonna go out talking about mountain lions, mudslides, wildfires,
Oh, no,
boulders as big as Volkswagens coming
can't-
down off the mountain, needing to
but
wear a
that's
headlamp.
next, Sean.
You can't have your daughter edit this for us. The show can't be edited.
Oh, yeah.
Can you remind us why people were moving to California? So we could not end on the mountain lions.
Well, because of the beauty and the peace and the quiet. So,
Weather.
if we don't have any mountain lions, we're good.
We still have the best weather in, I think,
Yeah.
the country.
That's true. No bugs, no mosquitoes, nothing flying around when you're having your barbecues.
No, we don't really have a lot of humidity. Okay, yes, we have a couple of natural disasters, but no hurricanes. We did have a tornado recently. Let me edit that out. But that was very rare, one of them.
And no more earthquakes, knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood, knock on wood. So yeah, California, it's very desirable. I think, Santa Barbara, especially in Beverly Hills, LA is still, a really amazing place to live. I do love Connecticut too, and the East Coast. I'm from the East Coast, but I could never live in the East Coast again after living in California. I think we're in the best place and probably the world, one of the best places in the world, right?
Oh, yeah, they call it the American Riviera here with on the Riviera where people live. In Santa Barbara, it's actually cheaper than Montecito. Not much, but it is little, but the views of the 3 islands and the ocean are stunning.
Yes,
And
surfing,
the-
hiking, right? All of it. We got wineries.
Yeah.
So it
Yeah.
sounds like the newspaper reports that people are leaving California over the high cost of living may be overblown, based on the fact that there's very little inventory. Prices have been going up very much and are now not decreasing, but leveling off, would you say, in Santa Barbara?
Well, yeah, you're right about that, but there still are people that with businesses for tax reasons that well, they keep their residence here, but they make Nevada, Vegas, Texas primary resident in order to avoid these high taxes.
Right.
But
And to do that and live in Santa Barbara, you need to fly. So is there a Santa Barbara airport, and is it very
Oh,
accessible?
yes, sirree. Yes.
yeah, and
We
they
fly to
redid it,
Dallas, we fly to Denver, we fly all over the place.
but they fly their private jets.
Yeah.
Yeah, I take a bus.
You also can drive to LAX or drive to Long Beach Airport too. I mean, it's
Oh, you
not
can.
that far. If you don't
Right.
have a plane or a helicopter, there's plenty of ways to get in and out of Santa Barbara that are a little bit more affordable for.
Yeah, the train is great to LA and
Oh, I love that train. I haven't been in that
it's-
train for a
it's-
while. That's a great
yeah.
train.
Yeah.
Little slow.
A little slow, but
Yeah.
gives you time to relax, reflect, look at the coast and
You can plug your
enjoy.
computer in.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
not a train you like take to actually be somewhere like the metro in New York, or
No.
you're just
Right.
kind of like, cruising
Cruising.
along. Yeah, that's kind of laid back Cali, but yes, Florida. I know people that will live there 6 months and 1 day out of the year and then have homes here. So
Oh, yeah. Our neighbors are around the corner.
Oh, yeah.
Final thoughts. I got to tell you, my conclusion is it sounds pretty great. It sounds like paradise, but it also sounds a little out of reach for most of us. It looks like something I might aspire to, like the best of California, but with only 80 houses on the market and competing with the Hollywood crowd and the tech crowd, it seems maybe out of reach. And I wonder, maybe in your parting thoughts, you could tell me where the future of this is. It going to become an even more precious enclave for the rich and famous, or is it going to remain a balanced, family-oriented community that both of you moved to originally?
What are your thoughts, Mary?
I don't know. I have a strong feeling about all that ranch land right along the coast above Goleta.
Yeah,
That goes Gaviota.
Gaviota.
I mean, how many miles of that? Is it 20 miles?
Well, a lot of that's being preserved. Ranch just got bought for $100 million and put into a trust donated to UCSB.
The Reagan Ranch?
No. This is another one. In fact, Douglas Elliman had the listing for a little while. I didn't, unfortunately, but it was donated to be preserved forever. And there was about 1,000 acres.
Mhm.
So that would be challenging. The opposition to keep the coastline pristine would be difficult, but Santa Barbara, I think, will always have a nice balance of people, and you're always welcome. Come out here and let's make this your home, your West Coast home.
Right. I know Summerlin's a great place.
It's
Adam.
great.
And then
Oh,
you're
yeah.
going up on the mountains there. I know our friends that own the Hilton hotels. They have a property up there,
Mhm.
and but there's a lot of regular houses in there. I mean,
Oh,
people
yeah.
bought those in the 50s for $0 They bought them for nothing. $5,000 now. They're 2 or
Right.
3 million.
Yeah.
Carpinteria is more affordable.
Carpinteria, yeah, you under $1 million, you can get something. And it's funny, people are getting mobile homes, they're manufactured homes. There are little pockets near the beach in Carpinteria, in Santa Barbara, Goleta, that are becoming a new trend. And
Mobile home communities, John, in LA and Malibu, there's tons of mobile homes here and they're really, really nice. I mean, great communities actually, and not inexpensive.
like I remember when
Wow.
Paradise Cove in Malibu, it broke $1 million for a mobile home. Well, now it's what, 4 million?
Yep.
I mean, it's
Paradise
crazy.
Cove, Point Two. Mhm.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
amazing.
I guess I know who to call if I want to know, who's turning over rocks and finding value and finding the great deals. I know to look you up in Santa Barbara. And Stacy, thank you so much for lending your expertise from Beverly Hills.
Thank you for inviting me.
This was great. I guess you wouldn't know that Stacy and I just met yesterday through Zoom. And I just saw her, and she immediately engaged everybody else in the room and was naturally inquisitive. And I said, you know what, she's going to be a great partner tomorrow on the Boroughs and Burbs. So thank you, Stacy.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.
This was great. And thank you, Mary. This was great. I guess if I'm going to move to Santa Barbara, I better be prepared like you to roll up my sleeves and volunteer with Adam's Angels on the weekends.
Yeah, or the Bucket Brigade, or you could come, I do women's conferences, but also do Rise 5K along the beach every December.
Yes.
So you
that's
come
a
and
fun
run
one.
and walk with us.
All right, you got it.
Yeah, I'll be
I'm
there.
coming.
Ah,
All right,
Thank
guys.
you all. This was a great episode 82, and I hope to see you again in person one of these days. Thank you,
yeah,
Stacy,
thank you for
Mary,
having us.
Adam. Until next time. Take care.
Bye.